Once upon a time, there was a very rich but miserly old man. He would share none of his wealth, not even with his own family. He planned to take it all with him. He stashed his gold in a secret place in the attic, so that when he died, he could take it with him on his way up to heaven. After he died, his widow searched the attic and found his gold. "What a fool," she said. "He should have hidden it in the basement." Today's readings remind us that greed is the ultimate foolishness. Koheleth says, "Vanity of vanities, all things are vanity." Jesus says, "Life does not consist of possessions." Our modern culture teaches quite the opposite. The commercials you'll watch on television tonight, the elegant ads in the glossy magazines on your coffee table, the radio spots you will hear in the car on the way home, will all tell you that the more you have, the better your life will be. Yet the gospel says, though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions. A best-selling book on stock market investments is entitled, "Greed is Good." It presents greed as a modern virtue, a means to self-improvement. That apparently resonates with many people who struggle for financial security. This gospel does not condemn financial enterprise nor business acumen. It does not deny our financial responsibility to provide for our needs and our families. What it condemns is a greed which is a constant thirst always to have more than we need. When many hard-working people hear this gospel, they might say to themselves, "This is one gospel I don't need to worry about. This gospel is about greedy, rich people. I certainly am not rich. I've nothing to be greedy about." When the gospel warns about sensuality or stubbornness or self-indulgence, it might sting my conscience. But one thing I do not have to worry about is being rich. Let the rich people squirm today. Sorry, this gospel is addressed to all of us. Even a monk or a poor Franciscan who has a vow of poverty. Rich is a relative term. Rich compared to whom? Compared to stockbrokers on Wall Street, or compared to straggly beggars on ghetto streets? Compared to the great tycoons of the business world, or compared to your great-grandparents? We are rich in many ways. This gospel is addressed to us. In fact, the gospel message applies as well to the poor. Greed is not a vice limited to the rich. When the poor collect, covet, and quarrel over trivial items, they can be as greedy as the wealthy. The gospel also applies to riches other than material wealth. Greed is not a vice limited to tangible possessions. We can be greedy about our time and our talents. We are greedy when we are unwilling to give our time to those who need us. A lonely widow, a troubled child, a grieving neighbor. We are greedy when we withhold our talents from the community, the parish, our family. The Gospel says, guard against all greed. The Gospel defines the greedy as those who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God. The Gospel asks us if our material prosperity has fostered a spiritual prosperity. Our homes, our garages, and our storerooms are crammed with trivial possessions, some that we have even forgotten about. Have such treasures enriched us in what matters to God? The old miser was correct, but confused. You can take it with you. Not treasures amassed by greed, but virtues built on generosity. When we store up treasures, not of greed, but of goodness, we become rich in what matters to God. The old miser stored up the wrong treasure in the wrong place.